Hey, what's up guys? This is GA here, back again with another video for y'all. So, on today's video, I want to explain to y'all why it is very important to have patience and to limit greed in the markets. So today I learned a very valuable lesson right here about just managing my emotions and greed and all that other stuff. So so I can show y'all what I was looking at before we all got into the situation. So moments earlier I had just blown my 500 rands accounts. So I blew the account like it was nothing, bro. Let me just show you why I actually blew the account. Okay, so on the H1 time frame, we're gonna be trading they're gonna be scalping the Nasdaq right here on the New York session. So firstly, we take a look at this very strong zone right there. We have that zone where we could be looking at the market reversing when we got to the zone, right? Okay, so with that being said, we drop it down to the H1 to the M15 to get a gist of the patterns that we could possibly form right there, right? Okay, so what had happened was I had been waiting for the zone very patiently. I had been waiting for the test of the zone, and then as soon as the zone got tested, I got scared and I didn't enter. I got scared. I didn't take the entry at that point right there. And after the entry, I was like, okay, I was anticipating a move towards the upside, which was very stupid because you could clearly see from the H1 time frame that we were looking for possible selling opportunities. And we can clearly see that this is just one of the confirmations that just rubber stamps for the directional movement that we're going to be selling the Nasdaq after that. Okay, so we can clearly see that we were going to be making a move towards that downside with this move towards the upside. We clearly see that we had a push up, retrace, a push up, and then a stronger retrace move, but still we were in an uptrend. So we pushed, but the market had pushed up towards this point, and then when we got to this point, we waited for confirmation that we were going to be going towards the downside, and we couldn't really enter without any confirmation, right? Okay, so with that being said, we drop it down to the M1. So M1 is where we filter out and look for patterns within the patterns and to give us possible entries. So at first we saw that we were in this very rejective zone. So I was like, okay, cool, since we don't have a pattern, I'm not gonna trade this first drop. So we didn't trade the first drop, and then we saw that we had a rejection right here. We saw that we had a rejection of this point, and we got this very nice pattern. We got this very nice flag, and I missed the first entry to get in and capitalize on the move for the flag. Didn't really get in. The move is supposed to be around this point right there, around the break of this point. This zone would have been my entry candlestick right there. So this is how I would have entered the market. I would have entered it right about the break of this point. Stop loss at this point, and then we would have held the move to a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Right here. So TP1 would have been, well, the overall TP of the trade would have been already filled, and we would have taken the entry and closed. But since we didn't get this close, didn't get this move, kinda reacted to the market a little late, so we had to wait for this push towards the downside, and when we got this push towards the downside, I was agitating, and I was waiting for the market to make a move towards the upside to at least break out and retest this structure right here. That's what we had waited for. Okay, so the problem started when we had to wait for another setup. And
bro, look at this. I think we're gonna blow the account. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
The whole psychology just went out the window. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is something that I should learn of. I saw this entry right here, or at least I convinced myself that this was another valid entry that I could have taken to either move towards here, or possibly up there for a move before we can go back down. I was expecting something that looked like this at this point. Thought I was gonna get more entries up there, and then something like a double top pattern or F pattern that will confirm that we're gonna go down. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and I had convinced myself that that is the case since I had seen this. Bullish engulfing candlesticks. So that was my entry. Entered off of the bullish engulfing candlestick. Stop loss just below there, and then my TP all the way up here. So that was my aim for the chart. So the price did move in my favor for a little bit, about 100 or so rands before it started reversing. And when it did reverse, I was like, okay, cool. I kind of knew that aha moment kicked in, where I was like, okay, maybe the setup has been completed, which I had to patiently wait for. But at that point, I still didn't really think that was what I should have been doing at the time. And the market did go back down, stop me out, move back in my favor. At this point, I was like, okay, why is it moving in my direction now since it just took me out? I kind of thought it was a stop hunt, but I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna really jump in back. I'm not gonna jump in for another entry since I had already lost about 94% of the account. Yeah, I just lost like 94% of the account of one single trade due to the nature of the market and then the volatility of the market. So the perfect setup had just presented itself. We can clearly see that this was a beautiful move. We had an impulse move and then a retracement move right here, which is always strong for continuation patterns. We knew that the overall trend direction and our only trend direction was going to be down since all the factors were lining up. And then we have this rejection, which is also a break in a retest off of this 0.5 Fibonacci zone, and also a beautiful kiss. Went up a little bit and then rejected it. It rejected it so beautifully that we got in a bullish engulfing candlestick. This is also a valid entry where we could have entered a trade that looks like this. Either we put it here or we put the stops right about there, and then we target a 3-to-1 risk to reward. That's like my usual trade, and you can see that it would have been a very beautiful trade. Even if we didn't really take that trade, we could have even taken the trade down here, okay, which would have also been a very nice entry, right? So let's just close this. So we close this. We can clearly see that we were in a very beautiful and a nice spot and entry, but since the psychology and the risk management wasn't in place, we ended up blowing the account. The account is left on about 30 rands because I had taken about 2 entries.